What's going on, traders, and welcome to my stream. Today is a great day. We're around the holidays, and I wanted to do this video as well as a couple of slides. It's been a monster week throughout a three week period. I think I netted over 100,000. It was a great experience, and right now I'm sure everybody's celebrating Christmas, but this is a nice guide of how I manage day trading psychology. I think you I believe day trading psychology is one of the most important thing. Trying to become smarter than the other person and not go into some common mistakes, and how I attack the market on a daily basis and how I manage my emotions during trading. Psychology is one of the most important thing, much more important than sizing, how to find plays, how to trade. Dealing with yourself is some of the most important things that I have for you here. So I prepared a nice slide for you guys, and we're gonna start out with my webinar here. This is kind of like my platform. Uh, been trading for I've been trading for 16 years, I believe, since 2008, I believe. Learned micro caps, OTCs, for a while, traveled the world, and now we're trading. We've been trading small caps for about, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years on the regular because the OTCs kind of died. So this is kind of like my setup, what I look at every single day, like my routine. This is my keyboard, my mouse, my setup over here. So I have about three monitors, looking at about eight to five, 8 to 9 charts every single day, as well as level two and so forth. So we're gonna proceed on. Like, how was my week? Currently, we are in December 2024. As you can see, these are kind of like, what I track, what I did every single day. And you can see so here that multiple times when I had a really crappy day, like here, I was down around 7K. Immediately I bounced out having a 49K day over here. And recently, when I had a 13K loss here, I bounced back into a 7K win over here. So you can see that pretty much after I have like a loss the day, I kind of fight back pretty hard the next day. Just sometimes I get rewarded, sometimes I get a bigger loss. But in this situation, it has worked out. So it's been a pretty monster week, monster month, December 24, probably the best I've seen. And the same, following my checkbook. I mean, this is kind of like my amazing logbook that I have here. I go through, I go and log, I go review my charts, and I write in it, what it was the mistake that I had, um, what was the mistake I have, what can I learn from losing in that trade, and how can I improve the next day. I have not been using this track log as much, but I should be using it every day. I kind of do it like mental work, but it's good to have a logbook. Either you review your trades, either you take a screenshot and review them over the weekend, but that's kind of like how I dealt with it, so you can basically improve. So today we're pretty much around Christmas holiday. I also, was green these 2 days over here. I have to log them, but the way I pretty much deal with psychology. We're gonna start out, some basics. This is the mental game of mastering your emotions in trading. You have to understand that this is a very good example of how emotions pretty much impact your judgment. I pretty much found out that usually you have optimism, same in business, same in life, but in trading, you have optimism over here, you have excitement, you have thrill, you have euphoria. So you have to really watch your emotions, especially during times of euphoria, because at euphoria, it cannot get any better than this. That's the thing you want to understand. Like, once you're into the euphoria moment, over here, things cannot get any better than this. So it's likely, likely you're gonna go downhill. You're gonna have ups and downs of trading and ups and downs in life. The sad part about, trading is that there's nothing more higher than euphoria. Like even when you're in life, say you have, say you won a lot of money at the lotto, that's your euphoria moment, and then everything's downhill from there. Until you have something new. Say you won a big football game, everything's down from there. I mean, you have to work yourself continuously throughout the cycles over here. You know, you have despondency, you have hope, relief, optimism, excitement, thrill, and euphoria. So these are very important to see like where exactly you are. So every single day when I look into a stock, I try to get myself into the trader's mind, try to get myself in the buyer's mind, the short seller's mind, and I try to understand like what is a short seller feeling at this moment in time, and what is the buyer thinking at this time when the stock did this and when the stock did that. So I constantly try to, when the buyer is feeling euphoric, that's the time to short. When the seller is when the short seller is feeling, I don't know, despondency, that is the time to sell. Because so every single stock goes through these cycles. So remember this cycle. This is a very nice cycle. This applies to everything in life, your dating life too, uh, your stocks, your portfolio, your fitness. I mean, you have to work through um, these emotions of, hope, relief, optimism, excitement, thrill, euphoria, and then it's down the hill from there. So key indication from this, you might want to write it down, is that after euphoria, there's always comes depression, and after depression, when the market was depressed, becomes euphoria. Same thing in uh, the Bitcoin thing. Bitcoin hit 60,000, everybody was euphoric. Then we came to 20,000, everybody was depressed, and now everybody's at 100,000 Bitcoin. Everybody's euphoric, so probably it's gonna come back down. That's just basic logic. So this is a really good example, like how I look at things in life. Having patience, like this is a very good example. Like the person with most amount of patience. Kings were created with patience. I saw a quote by somebody. It's like, uh, you know, treat a man to have patience and he will become a king. And Patience is probably the most important thing. Having patience, all things difficult because before they come easy. This is really good. Uh, Sometimes I sit and have no play and nothing hits my scanner between 7 a.m., 6 a.m., and 11 a.m. And sometimes there are 3 to 4 to 5 plays or more pre-market, more than I can name and more than I can pretty much take advantage of. Sometimes I have 7 plays per day, and I have to sit here and take advantage of them plays. And sometimes I trade them so often that I kind of get sick of so much trading, because it does do a mental and emotional toll, riding these ways of volatility. Because sometimes you can lose on one or two that pretty much knocks out like 3 or 4 winners, and you're pretty much emotionally unbalanced for a while. So the thing I want to get from you guys, patience is probably the most important thing. It's a marathon, not a sprint. If you're not feeling it, do not continue on trading. If you respected all my rules, because I have tons of rules in my course, the beginner's course, make sure you go through that. You will survive if you respect my rules. If not, you will just be at the mercy of your emotions. So understanding that, you need to have patience. That's the most important thing. Get yourself a comfortable chair and just watch a lot of stocks. That's the key to success for me. Emotional control. That's probably one of the most important things as well. I mean, when stocks go up, I mean, I've seen I've seen the excitement that I get on boards when everything goes up. Everybody's excited. Everybody's want to trade. Everybody's wants to join. Everybody thinks, right now is the perfect time to make your millions and make your life's salary. And that's and when everything is depressed, you couldn't get anybody to do anything. So you need to be in a Zen mode at all times, because I have experienced the ups and I have experienced the downs. Um, a lot of people cannot take the downs that much. I've experienced a lot of downs and down and ups as well. It's just a lot of people cannot take the downs. The downs are very low, and the euphoric, you feel like invincible. So, in order to combat this, you need to be like, say, I pulled this picture out. This is like a Tibetan monk. You need to be like a Tibetan monk. You need to be unattached to the outcome. Uh, Unattached to the outcome. Build a life that supports it. Like this is probably the most important thing. You need you need to be need to have zero emotion when you're winning and zero emotion when you're losing. A lot of days, sometimes I was losing multiple days in a row, s- and you need to and it's very hard to really to really get your ego out of trading. Like trading, the person that has it's very ironic. The person that has most amount of ego, that's the person that's going to be least successful. This business pretty much rewards the very patient and the people without the ego and the people that um, pretty much keep on going because the opportunities are there. You might not get them today, but I will definitely get them tomorrow because every day there's an opportunity. The key is to not lose all your money and lose all your chips and quit because the trading the trading hill is very steep. Like you're shoved into the market, most of you with no experience, what's a good trade, what's a bad trade, and you have to, perform brain surgery basically in your first year. So you're putting a lot of pressure on you. So take it slow. You need to have a Zen mode at all times. When you win, you have to be flat on your emotions, zero emotion. When you lose, you also have to be flat, zero emotion. It's very hard because when you're winning, you have this grind on you have smiling all the time. When you're losing, you have just a big headache. So I've trained myself, even though you go through these emotions, I looked in this picture, like you have doubt, you have anxiety, you have frustration, you have anger, you have overthinking, you have what is that? Screaming. You need to be zen and like right in the middle of everything. You cannot really let emotions really cloud your judgments because usually when you're most euphoric, you make the worst decision, and usually when you're most depressed, you make also the worst decision. I've recognized that. You probably quit or do something stupid. So, like when you're most depressed, you try to throw the kitchen sink at it because it's not working. And when you're euphoric, you think you're unbeatable, and then you take the biggest loss. So these are really good things. So in order to combat this, emotional, how I've been able to deal with my emotions in trading, I created a 6.5 hour course in which I go through, not only the basic money management that I use for small cap trading. I use basic rules for small caps. So I have a 6.5 hour course where I, explain to you how to have basic money management on depending on how what happens that day. Basic rules for small cap stocks, and I also have basic setups, like one or four examples of all my key home run setups. Like I have tons of home run setups, A plus setups in which I attack the small cap market, and I keep like one to I think over 10 examples of each. So not only I give you guys rules, I also give you money management skills, and I also give you an example of the types of setups I'm looking at every single day. This is included if you decide to sign up to my website. Link in the description below. And actually, we're actually doing a sale right now for winter holiday that ends on December 31st. So this is really good for me. This is what helped me out, stay into the zone and not have me lose all my money. Because if I lose all my money and lose all my emotion and give up, I don't want to do that. So that's kind of like what I did here, and you can go through each of them, and you can click on them. And these are like, I have about, I think, around 16 flashcards here, just the basics, the most important thing. So right now I'm actually working on a course. This includes, I don't know, about, I don't know, this is a small cap, a more advanced course, which you can sign up to pretty much receive a link when this going to be available. But it's basically, 4 or 5 years of data of small cap stock each day's four or five tickers I traded that day, compiled into a course so you can see similarities and know what to expect about each setup, whether you're shorting, buying pre-market, buying day breakout. Like I said here, these are advanced small cap strategies backed by 4 years of data, over 5 to 7 stocks collected a day, uh, and traded throughout a 4 year period. And this was going to be available for purchase soon. I'm still working on this course, and I'm actually adding all these stocks that I'm trading this fall. So accepting losses, this is basically, these are some of the basic. These are some of the basic money management rules. Obviously, you don't want to put thousands of dollars down the toilet. Most of you just want to jump into the trading. I've seen the message board. Everybody's asking me like, what's my broker? What's my trading platform, so they can mimic everything I do. I do appreciate that that can work for you for subscribers only. I don't recommend you guys follow me on every single ticker because some of them may end up not working and some of them I might end up flat. And I do recommend you guys signing up to see what I'm trading and trying to see what I'm thinking throughout the day, because I'm always trading from 7 or 8 in the morning till about 11 or 12 each and every day, and sometimes all day long. So you should be in my private Discord room if you want to get access to my ideas and what I'm doing that day. But some basic rules for accepting losses. Most of you will likely flush a lot of money down the toilet before you recognize that the knowledge I'm trying to teach you is actually, doesn't have a bias to, upcharge you a $5,000 course, or pretty much upcharge you, more than it's fair for a monthly fee. A lot of people there's actually not a lot of people that are charging less than me, considering my experience. And most people on the internet will try to scam you, and they will try to sell you a very overinflated course, and that might not work for you. But in this situation, you need to accept losses. Managing losses based on Nasdaq's course, like one of the greatest things I've read. A good trader is a trader that knows how to lose well. Um, if you understood that, that's great. So let me repeat that. One of the best traders know how to lose well. If you can manage your losses and minimize them, and because sometimes you buy something And if it doesn't do exactly what you want it to do, you get out and you're like, okay, I was wrong. And then you stay wrong, you lose 50, $100, and that's it. And then you make thousands and thousands and thousands more on other stock. But if if you don't know how to manage your losses and you just come in and you just fight it and then you get stubborn on it and then you add and you add and you add, that could be the end of your career in that ticker. So some of the basic rules over here are maximum loss per day, maximum loss per ticker, and if you're profitable that day, never give back more than half your day's work. Or, one of my favorite rules has been to keep active during trading of small cap stocks. I never buy or short sell a ticker more than 2 times unless I am winning. So if I lose 2 times on a ticker, I likely going to trade it. If I'm trading a ticker, more than 2 times, it's because I'm winning. But if I'm losing, I do not trade a ticker more than 2 times. I get this headache, I get this migraine, I get the ticker wrong, and that's perfectly fine. You just move on to the next ticker. This is a very good example of some basics knowledge that will help you out. And trust me, this is probably the most important thing you will learn. Because a lot of tickers just don't do what you want them to do. And if you do not know this, you will lose your account very quick. Developing a positive attitude. There we go. So this is a pretty good book. I think this guy wrote it by Mike Bellafiore. So yeah, this is actually a good. You need to pretty much download his book. I'm not affiliated to him. But if you want to become like a professional trader, you might want to take a look on how to be a professional trader. Like, the market doesn't owe you a thing. Just because you pressed, just because you turned on your laptop, the market doesn't owe you a profit that day. A lot of people have this entitlement, and this individual in his book really broke it down, how these firms and how these companies, have meetings, before the market open, and they talk to their lead traders how to, move the stock to to create the most liquidity, stop everybody out, and make the most for the traders and for the firm. So the market is um, the market is rigged against you at all times. It's very legal for traders to manipulate stocks and take out your stop losses. It's nothing unheard of. I've seen them do it all the time, and I've seen millisecond algos in there as well that take out your stops and then it plunges. So it's not illegal. It's something they do, and you need to, you're if you're just going in there and you don't know what you're doing and you don't have your data, it's a really big minefield that you're walking into. It's like you're walking in the desert and there's mines everywhere, and you're trying to get to a new water source. Eventually, one of those mines is going to blow up your account. That's if you do not have your data, there's just a matter of time. If you show up at the wrong day, wrong time, wrong hour, and you press the wrong button, I mean, statistically speaking, 90% of traders lose money. So in order to understand this, just understand like how big of a minefield you're in. And in his book, he explains very thoroughly like how much work they put in, their their skill and their trading skill to to become competitive, because this is a sport like any other, and you need to be competitive. And what worked last week might not work this week. Market is continuously changing, so you need to develop a positive attitude. Life can be a lot worse if you do not respect your stop loss. And one of the most important quotes that I have read that I have helped me throughout the years is that you had a good day if you traded well. This stuck out to me in his book. You had a good day when you traded well. Like, I respected my rules, respected my stops. I mean, even though the day was red or green, it's just what it is. And the day was good because you followed your plan and your rules. And a lot of people, this is very hard to grasp because, if you don't have rules, if you don't have a plan, and if you don't have a data, I mean, you don't know when you traded well. But I do because I've studied the data and I know when I traded well. The next thing, the power of discipline and routine. This is a very good example right here. Like, I have a routine each and every day that throughout the years that I have been accustomed to. One of my favorite routines is try to wake up at 6:30 on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday because you have a lot of pre-market price action. I don't encourage trading before 9 a.m. on Monday. And one of the most important things over here that you might not already heard here, I don't encourage trading burning out. And I encourage not trading burning out. Like trading is a very hard sport because you have to sit here and you have to not only trade, like I have to trade, I have to speak while I'm trading, I have to manage my own emotions, and sometimes I have to manage somebody else's comments or somebody else's noise. And trading is as hard as it is. I mean, there's not many people that can talk while they trade. That's it's very hard to talk while you trade because but I've perfected my skill to talk while I'm trading and what I'm thinking about that trade in that moment in time throughout my live streams throughout the year. And so, the less things you have in your life, like first off, you need to trade. Second off, you need to talk. Third off, you need to manage yourself and your emotions, and you have to watch what you talk and you watch what you say. And then also, there's also like a fourth thing, like what's going on in your life. Did you sleep well, eat well, wake up well? Did you follow your plan? What kind? Are you in a Zen type state? Your problems, your family, and sometimes you have to deal with, negative comments or negative chatter, and they do influence you, and that's why I never pay attention to them because it doesn't really matter what some average guy in the middle of nowhere with $50 to his name thinks, because most of people on YouTube are not really um you know are not the greatest cream of the crop. This takes a lot of work and a lot of practice, and you're just not going to get there by snapping your fingers and pressing the on button on your laptop that quickly. It's a job, and it's work, and it's accounting, and it's data, and you have to continuously work at it. Can't just have a limitless movie, uh, delusion that you're just gonna take this pill and you're gonna get on the laptop, and then there comes the Bugatti the next day. The money will come, and the money comes slowly, but surely, and it will get there. And when you get it, when you get it, it'll get there. I encourage not trading burnout. Like a lot of my max losses have been due to the fact that I'm tired. Trading does a very hard emotional toll on me, considering I have to wake up daily, especially at 6:30, and sometimes it's very hard because you have accumulated burnout. You can, you if you wake up at 6:30 every day and you trade for, I don't know, 5, 6 hours a day and you watch stocks, that is a and you do it consistently without a break and without a vacation, it will put a toll on your body and you will be eventually burning out. So that's why I recommend breaks, whether you need a week off, a day off, a month off, sometimes a year off. it's just it's just the way it is. Sometimes you can take a year off and then you come a year later and you're just hitting it out of the ballpark. I do encourage a max loss per day or per trade. Max losses are important, especially the one for the day and for the trade. Actually, I encourage the max loss. Max loss is probably the most important things. You need to have a daily routine that you wake up, get dressed, eat breakfast, brush teeth, make bed, fill water, clean up laundry. Like my usually routine is I wake up. Um, my usually routine is like I wake up, I get my green tea, I get a t-shirt on, I brush my teeth, my face, I turn on the system, I get in front of the screen, and I try to trade for 3, 4 hours, and that's about it. That's kind of like really my routine. I really hydrate in the morning, BCAAs, water, whatever you need. Um, I actually don't recommend you having more than 2 cups of coffee, maybe 1 cup of coffee, because it's gonna make you very agitated. The market doesn't move just because you drank a lot of coffee, and you're not gonna be moving the market just because you drank 3, 5 espressos. So I don't recommend you guys drinking too much coffee. I used to drink a lot of coffee, and it didn't work out well. So, coffee is not really your what worked for me. What worked for me is just sitting here in being patient in my Zen state and just watching the 8 stocks market and having a very clean, very Zen-like state and trying to analyze like what's in the buyer's mind, what it's in the short seller's mind, what has happened the last few weeks, what is happening right now, what time of day, and then I make my trade. So I do encourage you guys to have a routine that you do, or every night. Uh, like, do you have a routine right here? Do you have a routine for evaluating your data? Like, what kind of like like at a firm, at a prop firm, you review your trades the same day every single day. I don't I review them every other day, every day, every week, but you do need to review them, especially your losses, because that's how you're going to improve for the future. Do you have a routine for improving in the future, or are you just going to wing it? Are you just gonna, hide your losses underneath the bed and let them repeat? Because if you don't tackle your losses, they will repeat in your future. Like I've seen a lot of my losses, they repeat in the future, especially shorting front side, which I'm gonna go into the next slide. So this is a pretty much nice example of me not respecting my rules. This is, avoiding common psychological uh, traps over here. This is admitting you are wrong. This is a ticker that I bought around 4 times, and it just, you see my buy, you see my sell, you see my buy, you see my sell, you see my buy, you see my sell, see my buy, you see my sell. This is probably one of the worst case scenario that I've experienced. Like you can see that, I had a bullish stance on the stock, that we were in a very low float market. I thought this is going to be the ticker that is going to continue running like all the other floats. And soon enough, I bought it 4 times, and it actually wiped out like 3 winners that I had that day because I failed to admit that I was wrong. And I was continuously saying to myself that no, I'm not wrong. The stock is wrong. So every time I was buying, I kept adding to my position. I kept buying it, and you can see that every single time we just hit that trend line, and we just didn't go anywhere. And I even hit it over here, and it was terrible. It was a very humiliating event. I'm sure you all have humiliating events, and I want you guys to share that with yourself. Take a screenshot, put it on your wall, print it out, and not let it happen again, because the market will humble you down very quickly if you do not respect rules. So if I'm losing like more than 2 times on a ticker, I really do stop trading that ticker. So if it's hitting your max loss, I kept increasing size, so I'm breaking more and more rules, and next thing you know, I have a huge loss for per day on this ticker. This is some common, you need to admit you're wrong. Like nobody knows where the stock market is going. Nobody knows where each stock is gonna go. The bets you can do is to, bet. Like nobody actually really knows. Even the fortune tellers, they don't know where the stock market is going or where that stock is going. That's why it's called the stock market. The stock market is a thing that you can only speculate on, and you can, base your judgment on past performance to equal, you know, predictable future results. That's really what we're doing here. But nobody really knows where each stock is going, and if they do, they're probably lying to you or trying to sell you something. Each day you can be wrong multiple times, and you can be right a lot of times. It's just depending on how well, what kind of stocks you get that day. So in this situation, I was wrong. I didn't admit I was wrong, and sometimes you will have one of these days. The next ticker is probably right here. This is me shorting front side. This is a stock that I shorted over here. You can see multiple times I shorted at 550. This is actually the stock that I made a lot of money on Friday. It was like a 30K winner, and I was pretty much over my risk limit. I was actually risking, a couple of days work, maybe like 2 days, maybe like a week's work, because I didn't really want to take my short out because I had a short over 550. The stock dumped to 450, and then it came back to 550. So usually my rule is if I short something, it comes back to my entry, I do need to cover it and then re-examine the situation later. In this situation, I pretty much held it, and I added to my short over here into the 750, $7. So this is a very good example of what not to do, because one of these days, I mean, these things go from 150 to 7 or to 8, and sometimes they go to 100. And there's really nothing really you can do about it. You cannot let, I've seen things go from $1 to $8, and I've seen them go from $1 to $20 or $30 or $50. There's no knowing where it is. The best idea I have for you, like if you short 550 and we come back to 550, either A, take some out when you're up 20%, and then if it comes to 550, take it all off, and then we come to $8, start shorting over here, because this ended up being one of my biggest gains. I ended up making over 35K on it, and just adding to my short. And in this scenario, I was right, and it actually, I think, unbalanced me emotionally a bit, because I started to get some flu-like symptoms, and I had to really retreat and not trade so aggressively for a while, because when you do trade aggressively, it does somehow unbalance you a bit, and especially shorting front side and not taking a flat stop, because then you're pretty much putting in play, weeks of work, a month, 2 weeks of work, and you're at the mercy of the market of being right that day. So this is a common psychological trait that I do need to work on. It's a curse as well as a blessing. Sometimes it works out and I have a huge gain, but sometimes it just goes into a disaster mode. So I'm trying to work on my, common psychological mistakes and traps that I have been dealing with. The next one is FOMO, very basic FOMO. Like I've seen this ticker in the morning, 18 through 44. We have a downtrend break, and this ticker has performed so well on news with Nvidia. You can see announced it has joined Nvidia Accelerator to boost e-commerce. Then you buy it as it breaks this downtrend and it VWAP reclaims, and then you see it move so big, you think it's just gonna continue on. It's gonna go to $1, $5, $10, $1, and then you refuse to take it off, and then it dumps on you, and then you finally take it off as it comes back, and then it sells off. Like we've been in a market this winter or this Christmas where a lot of tickers without any news have performed better than with stocks with news because as the market is very seasonal. The market is very sometimes as of right now, there's more tickers without any news running much better than stocks with news. So you have to be very mindful of that these companies release news, and they're actually most of them have been selling off after the news. So pretty this is an example of FOMO. This is a very good example that I'm having myself work on it. This is an example of fighting a stock short front side. Like in my course, I do recommend not being more than 30% on size as the stock, squeezes higher. In this case scenario, you have the downtrend break, you buy it at $6, and for a lot of times, if the stock comes over here where the pre-market high is, you tend to sell into resistance. Like seen a bunch of usually what happens is you buy support, you sell resistance, right? That's that's really that's very it can work or it cannot work. You have days in which the resistance the resistance acts as resistance. Like right here there's the pre-market resistance, it acts like resistance and then it rejects. And you have days, since it's around Christmas, where it just blows through resistance and becomes a breakout. So you have to really judge, it's not necessarily, a fixed idea whether to short resistance or buy support. You have to adapt to what the market is showing you, whether the market favors shorting resistance. Most of the time, it favors resistance, and most of the time, it favors buying support. But in this scenario, it blew through resistance, which is the pre-market high here, 7.80 or $8. And then what I did was I added short and then I bought my short. So, fighting a stock on the front side, uh, you know, understanding like in this situation it was a breakout and we broke through resistance and there's no reason for me to fight it, just because I don't think it's going to go higher. In this situation, the stock went from 5 to over 15 in a very short period of time. So fighting this, just when you don't think it cannot go any higher, it can and it will, and you have to prepare yourself for this type of action because if you're used to shorting resistance over here and usually it comes back down in a much more colder market from here to here. Once you're in a hot market, you need to adapt and keep on riding this huge momentum that we have here. This is a really good example in PRFX, fighting a short front side. Developing a positive trading habits. Like one of my favorite trading habits is, a lot of people teach you about meditation. Meditation is great. Sitting with your palms, listening to biannual beats or whatever the beats you want to call them is great. I enjoyed it. What I like to do is I like to do walking meditation or biking, listening to an audible book. If you cannot sit there and listen to some music in your headphones while performing the lotus. That's cool. Just make sure you walk around the nature, go in a park. If you're in a busy city, you will need to do some nature stuff. Take a walk anywhere around the city, bike, meditate. Uh, you need to, vent. Make sure you do this very, you need to vent at all times. Um, that's how you achieve mindfulness. You need to be in a Zen level state at all times, whether you're winning, whether you're losing, and most of the time you're going to be losing. That's the sad part about you as a individual that is first starting out in trading is that most time you're going to be losing for a long period of time until you get it. So I recommend taking it as a longer project with many years to come. Invest in your education and be a long traders that have mastered this skill. If you can't meditate, that's fine. Walk around the park. Do slow intensity cardio. Don't stress yourself. You need to develop positive trading habits that bring you back to whether you had a big loss or a big gain and bring you back to a Zen-like mindset. If you don't like walking, try to pick up a bike, an e-bike. Actually, my e-bike battery is kind of dying right now. It can only go like half an hour before I have to charge it because I've been using it for so long. This is the same e-bike I had for I don't know how many years, at least 10, I believe. This is the same e-bike I had for 10 years and the battery's cooked. You can't meditate, you don't want to walk, get yourself a bike around. Biking meditation works the same. Sometimes I bike for hours at a time. Sometimes I bike for, I mean, today I think I biked for an hour and a half and I didn't even feel anything. Listening to some Alpha God book, which was pretty good. And, make sure you uh, pretty much get your body moving because you're going to be losing a lot in your first year if you do not invest your money or your hard-earned money into a course or a strategy that I have developed. Most of the time in your first year or two, you're going to be losing a lot. And I recommend, to invest in yourself so you can have a quicker time to get to, mastering this skill. This is a skill that takes a long time, long dedication, long commitment, and lots of money to keep yourself still here, even though you will be losing for a lot of times. Most people quit because they haven't done it long enough and they don't continue going on even though they're losing. But I've still been here and I've been doing just fine, even in times of losing, even in times of winning. So these are really good positive trading habits. And this is the end. Reach out to my private Discord, link in the description below. Reach out to my private Discord, become a member, and come into my private Discord and chat with me each and every morning and hear me speak on the microphone. Use the contact icon on the main site to get exclusive one-time discount. I mean, if you've been watching for so long, now we're at the 50-minute mark. Make sure you contact me on the button, on the contact button on the main site and ask about a one-time discount that I will be releasing to you. Um, if you're interested in that, make sure you contact me on that button. If not, that's just fine. We're running a seasonal special right now, and we're running a Christmas special, and I'll leave you at that. Trading is a very serious matter. I have perfected many aspects of my, psychology, how do I find plays, how I structure my day, how to think, what kind of platform to have, brokers, all that. So I have perfected that throughout the years. There's a lot of work to do, but so is brain surgery, or being a rocket scientist. Brain surgery, being a rocket scientist, being an engineer, it's very similar or equal to being a trader. I'm sure everybody can wire $1,000, $2,000 and call themselves a trader, but are you a consistently profitable trader? Because if you're not, you're just a statistic that lost his trading account. In order to receive consistency, reach out to highly educated and highly skilled traders and align yourself with those individuals so you can consistently profit from the market. This has been my presentation. Make sure you give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, join the free Discord room, um, pretty much subscribe to my email list for upcoming promotions, and sign up in the link below into my private Discord so you can take advantage of each of the opportunities that we have in the market, Monday through Friday in the morning till about 11 or so each day. That will be it, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace out.